You keep feeling it, don't you? That quiet restlessness. A thought that won't leave you alone. A dream you can't shake. You've tried to dismiss it, but perhaps burying it beneath routine, but it keeps rising. And that's not random. That's not your imagination. That might be God reminding you you were born with a calling, and He hasn't changed His mind. When you start walking in purpose, really walking, you begin to notice a shift. You are not just busy anymore. You are fulfilled. You stop chasing signs and you start becoming one sign. You're no longer waiting for permission or for validation. You have the assurance and you move with clarity because you know who you are and you know who sent you. I've lived this shift myself. I'm not a theologian or a pastor or religious leader. I'm just someone who heard the whisper of calling, and I have decided to say yes. And that's what I'm inviting you into today. Welcome to Wisdom Etc., the space where we seek to unpack and apply eternal wisdom to everyday life. My name is Flavio, and I'm honored to walk this journey with you. This week's video is about your calling, how to hear it and act on it and start stepping into the life you were made for. And if you missed last week's video, we talked about identity and how God sees you. So go check it out after this one. And you can follow us as well on Instagram. We would love to connect with you over there. Let's be honest, you've probably felt it before. A prophetic word, a dream that seemed too big to explain. An idea that lit you up and scared you at the same time. But life got loud. You got busy. And now you are asking, did I imagine it? No, you didn't. Just like Jeremiah, the prophet, when he was called. You might feel unqualified or too young or too old, and then it's too late. But before you were formed, God knew you. He set you apart and He gave you a purpose. I believe He hasn't gone silent. It is just that the noise around you has been turned up too loud. Let's get practical. Work without purpose is exhausting. But when you are aligned with your calling, even the hard days carry meaning. The danger is this: you get so good at surviving, you stop listening. You build systems, you chase outcomes, and you forget the reason you started in the first place. And that's when the calling becomes a burden. When you stop sitting enough or long enough to hear it again, to hear the voice of God again. Calling always begins with stillness, no hustle, no hype, no more strategy, just space to hear. If you remember the story of Martha and Mary, Martha thought her work was devotion, but Jesus didn't applaud her activity. He honored Mary's stillness. Like Mary at Jesus' feet, you have to slow down long enough to receive the one thing that can't be taken away from you: clarity. We live in a generation that values hustle, visibility, and outcomes. But heaven values something deeper: God's presence, God's voice. And from listening comes the calling, comes the mission, comes the clarity and the courage to take action. Mary didn't just listen. She acted. If you remember, she poured a perfume on Jesus' feet. She broke in the jar. She marked a very profound moment in history. And her act still speaks today. You don't need to go viral. You just need to obey what God has called you to do. And the first thing is that call is an invitation to come to Him and to sit at His feet and listen to His voice. This channel, Wisdom Etc., it's part of my calling. I'm not here because I'm qualified. I'm here because God gave me a burden to share eternal wisdom with the world, and I had to start somewhere, right? So no special equipment, no stage, not a perfect plan, just being faithful with what I had. So, and try one day at a time, one video at a time. Now I want to ask you, what are you doing with the calling you have, and with the resources you have, with the seeds God has given you? Calling isn't just a spiritual idea, it's practical. If you remember David, he didn't face Goliath just for bravery. He asked first, what is the reward? And that's not being selfish, that's a strategic. He understood the key principle of calling, action, and reward. So the question is, excuse me, isn't just, do you have a calling, but are you acting upon your calling? You're not too late. The dream didn't die. God didn't forget, but He is waiting. And God is not waiting for your perfection, but He's waiting for your presence, where we'll sit long enough to hear His voice again. Here's what I want you to do this week. Take 15 minutes, no noise, no distraction, just you and God. Just stillness in God's presence, and ask Him to remind you of the last thing He said. Write it down. Then act upon it, even if it is too small, because the call hasn't gone. You've just been busy, and now it's time to listen again, to listen to God's voice and put that command, that calling into practice. Perhaps a small step. What is the next step? What can you do today? So start with taking the time to hear His voice once again. Now drop in the comments, I am not waiting for a sign. I'm choosing to respond. And tell me, what dream, what word, or calling have you shelved that you know needs to be revived? Like this video, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram. We would love to journey with you, and keep listening, keep building. This is Wisdom, etc. I'm Flavio, and I will see you next time. God bless.